Back on the record, this is the people of the state of Colorado versus James Egan Holmes, case number 12 CR 1522. The record should reflect that Mr. Holmes is present with his attorneys and the prosecutors are present as well. Are you folks ready for the jury, Mr. Brockler?
We are, Your Honor. I guess I'd ask the court, I know it's Friday, so it may counsel against this, but yesterday the court had inquired of...
Thank you.
Inquired of the jury...
We just cleaned the carpet too, Mr. King.
I'm sorry, Judge. Somebody moved the microphone on me and I was trying to move it back.
That's all right. Actually, I think they're going to clean the carpet this weekend, so I'm glad you did it. We'll get our money's worth. All right, go ahead.
Honestly, it's like being at home, watching one of my kids knock something over and just let it seep in there. The court had asked the jury yesterday if they would mind staying a little bit later to finish up a video. This particular video is going to run a little over 2.5 hours, and we're going to build in another break. I didn't know if the court wanted to go down that road with them or simply say, hey, look, let's just plan on being done at 5.
All right, I'll ask him. I mean, if we're taking every hour, I don't know that we'll make it by 5:30 anyway. It's 2:35 right now. We might make it by 5:30. I'll ask them if they can stay till about 5:30 when they come back. All right, let's bring the jury back, please. Oh, thank you very much. Sorry.
It's Scott Driver. What? I'm kidding. I wouldn't think that. I just wouldn't, you know.
Please be seated, everyone. The record should reflect that the jury's back in the courtroom. Welcome back, folks. I'm wondering about schedule this afternoon. Here's what's going on. The next segment of Exhibit P-TR-1005, it's actually the first segment of that exhibit, but the next segment of the interview between Dr. Reed and the defendant is 2.5 hours long. And I'm planning on taking a short 10-minute break after every hour. So in order to play that entire segment today, we'd have to go to about 5:30 or so. And we don't have to do that. We can just come back on Monday, quit at 5 and come back on Monday. Is there anybody here who cannot stay until 5:30 or who would rather not stay until 5:30? Okay, a couple of you. All right, that's fine. We'll stop at 5. All right, then we'll just plan to stop at 5, but we'll still plan on taking a break every hour or so, all right? Okay, Mr. Brockler, you have to be here. Go ahead. We can publish now P-TR-1005, and I will dim the lights.
Some point. see? I think we've got you somewhere.
We have sound now.
We have better sound now. Before the sound was a little bit light, and I couldn't quite hear as well as I'd like. We got stuff on the sound, but if you want to pull it, that's fine. But whatever you're comfortable with. Okay. How was your night?
Good.
I see what you mean about this room being, or your room here, being much smaller.
Yeah.
And you don't have a regular bunk. The bunk is down on the floor.
Right.
You know what I'd like to do before we get started? I would like to test your eyes a little bit.
Okay.
We talked about the dilated pupils. I want to check the constriction of them with the flashlight and stuff like that, okay?
Okay.
Great. See if I can get this little flashlight working. So if you just look off into the infinity there for a minute, I'm just going to look at your pupils a little. Fine. Kind of right, I guess. Now, I'm going to ask you to look off and focus on that restroom, or on that shower sign. Focus there, and then focus on my finger. And now out there. Now on my finger. Good, thank you. Everything was normal, by the way. Make a little note of it. Did you think of any questions or anything about our sessions yesterday that you wanted to bring up?
Nope.
Okay. Do you remember what we were talking about when we left off?
No, I don't.
Okay. Don't feel bad because I'm not sure either. Let's just jump in here. I know we had talked a bit yesterday about the time that you were pretty depressed, particularly in December of 11, I think, right? What's the time in your life that you've been absolutely the most depressed?
I'd say it was around that time.
Around that time. Okay. Any other times in your life that came close to that?
No.
Okay. And by depressed, I mean down, blue, sad, maybe feeling hopeless.
Yeah, there wasn't anything like that.
Okay. How about times in your life when you've thought of killing yourself or hurting yourself? I remember asking about that yesterday, but I'm not sure if I asked at any time during your life.
No, there weren't any other times.
Okay. Have you ever tried to hurt yourself or kill yourself?
Just parasuicide, like,
I'm sorry?
parasuicide.
And what do you mean by parasuicide?
Not going all the way through with it, kind of.
And what was it that you did that didn't go all the way through with it? What was it that you did, may I ask?
Just kind of sawed at my wrist.
Okay. With what?
Cardboard.
How old were you?
Early teens.
Early teens. Okay. Can you tell me what was going on in your life when you did that? It sounds like you probably felt very bad.
It was when I had to move back to San Diego.
And I recall you're saying you didn't want to leave your friends.
Right.
But did you do that after you moved back or before you moved back?
On the trip, moving back.
On the trip. Where were you? Can you tell me more about what happened?
I was in our van on the trip moving back.
Tell me more.
Well, I just felt ignored.
Ignored in what way?
In the decision to go back to San Diego.
So you're in the van. Tell me the process, if you will.
I don't know if there's a process to it or not, but
Where were you sitting? What was
on the very back.
Okay. How did people discover what you were doing?
They didn't.
Nobody ever found out about it?
Nope.
Okay. Tell me more about the sawing as you described it and what kind of cardboard it was. There's a lot more to this, I think.
It was just a regular cardboard. Like you see in a moving box or something.
I'm not getting the whole video of it. Can you describe the video of it?
Well, there's nothing else to say about it.
Not for you, maybe, but I'm hearing some missing things. Like, where did you cut? How bad was it? All kinds of things like that.
At the wrist, it wasn't bloody. It just broke the skin, though.
You felt like no one was listening to you.
Yep.
Do you remember what you thought might happen as you were doing that?
No, I don't remember what I was thinking.
And no one ever noticed the abrasions or the cuts or something?
Well, they're at the place where the wrist bends anyway. So there's a line there that kind of masks it.
So if I were to ask your mom or your dad if you'd ever done anything like that, they would probably say no.
Right.
Why did you not tell somebody?
I don't know.
Any guesses?
Just because I wanted to keep it private.
My thought is a private pain that you were feeling. Maybe that's not your thought, but that reminds me of keeping a pain inside.
Yeah, not discussing.
Did you do that with pain a lot over your life? Keep it inside and not discuss it?
Yeah, I didn't see any need to discuss it.
What kinds of pain have you kept inside?
Just physical pain, I guess.
Tell me more if you can.
I don't know anything.
Sure you do. What kind of pain have you had that you've kept inside over the years?
I don't recall any.
No pain over the years?
None that I recall.
You've talked here about lots of things that trouble you beautiful inside. You've already talked about some of them, so I know they're there.
Yeah, I didn't feel like discussing it.
Here or before?
Oh, before.
Can you discuss it here? The pain that's inside, that was inside, whether it was in school or at other times?
Well, there's nothing to discuss.
I disagree. I think there's a lot to discuss.
Okay.
What do you suppose is kind of keeping you from discussing it?
Well, that I've always kept it inside. Yeah.
You don't want to bring it out right now?
If I could recall what it is.
So you're saying if it's not that you don't wish to bring it out with me, it's that you really don't have any memory of that? No, you don't have any knowledge of that?
Right.
Any kind of pain that you've kept inside? How about the frozen things, the shyness and awkwardness that's
Well, we already
been
talked
so
about
troubling
that.
to you? So that would be one example. It's okay to talk about things twice or three times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shrinks like to hear things lots of different times in different ways. You've talked with shrinks before, you know that.
Yeah.
How tough is it to keep the shyness and social difficulty inside you and not talk about it?
Not difficult at all.
Have you ever had the feeling that it might be helpful to talk about pain that's inside with somebody?
I suppose it couldn't hurt.
Did you ever wish you could talk with anybody about it?
No.
There were times in your life when I think your parents took you to somebody to talk about things, right? I can think of a couple. Maybe they're not quite what we're talking about. Do you remember those times?
Yeah, with another therapist.
Okay.
I just ended up not saying much.
That's interesting. Your folks apparently thought that you were hurting inside, that there was something.
I don't know if it was because of me or it was just family therapy.
Okay. So, and we're talking now about the fellow named Mel.
Yeah, Mel.
Yeah. Well, what was it that got you all to see Mel?
Oh, I think it was my mom's decision. I don't know what made her decide to take us to family therapy, though.
You were pretty young at that time, am I right?
Teens.
Oh, you were in your teens. Okay. So you likely had some idea of why she wanted the family to go see Mel. What do you suppose it was?
Maybe build a stronger, more connected relationship with each other.
Was there something that wasn't strong and wasn't connected in the family at that time?
Not really, no.
Then why do you suppose she thought that it needed improving?
See, I don't know why she did it.
When you went to see Mel, what happened in those sessions?
I don't remember.
Do you remember anything at all about the sessions? What the building looked like, what the office looked like?
It looked like a typical office building. And then the room had bookshelves, that kind of thing.
Okay. Do you remember how the family sat in the room? How did the family sit in the room?
On a couch together.
Okay. What might the family have been talking about? What is it logical to speculate that they might have been talking about?
I don't know. I just remember Mel telling the story about how he got hit by a car riding his bicycle, and like got all mad at the guy because he didn't apologize to him.
So that was Mel's story.
Yeah, so I know Mel's story. I don't know my mom's story, I guess.
What do you make of the fact that you remember Mel's story, but not the more important story, and that would be your family's story?
Because I guess our story never came out.
Your story never came out. How many times did you all see Mel?
Like 10 times, I think.
Lots of times.
Yeah.
That's lots of chances for the story to come out. What was it about the story that made it not want to come out?
I don't know, I guess because I'm not a very sharing person, I guess.
Was it just you, or was nobody talking? Nobody wanted it to come out?
I think my mom was talking, but I don't know what she said.
If you had been a sharing person, what might you have said?
I don't know.
Was that a time when you were pretty uncomfortable?
Uncomfortable in what way?
I'm not sure because I wasn't there. But there was something that drove your mom or suggested to your mom that going to see Mel would be a good idea, and that was pursued for 10 whole sessions.
Yeah, I didn't really see the point.
What was going on in your life and your mind and yourself at that time?
Just same old routines.
Like what?
Like games, sports, that kind of thing.
Okay. And refresh me, if you will, what games and what sports?
Video games and soccer.
That was a while after you came back to San Diego, right? Or was it just after you came back to San Diego?
I don't think it was a long time after. It was kind of a medium amount after.
One more try. What might there have been going on in your part of the family, your life in particular, that might have contributed to Mom saying, we need to get some help with this?
Nothing unusual.
So you weren't part of her reason?
I doubt that. I think I was part of the reason.
And in what way might you have been, or were you part of the reason?
Well, because I'm part of the family.
We're getting into kind of a tautology here.
Yeah.
It's getting circular.
I don't know her reason for starting therapy.
I don't either, because I wasn't there. You're the only person in the room who was there.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Okay. I asked you about yourself and being depressed and thoughts of hurting yourself. Has anybody in the family ever been severely mentally ill or severely depressed? And
In my extended family,
mother, father, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents?
my mom's father had to be institutionalized a couple times, but I don't know why or for what.
he pass away when you were little and you didn't know him, or is there some other reason you didn't know him?
He passed away when I was little too. So
Okay. And what, so far as you remember, or were told, or figured out, what was his difficulty?
they didn't tell me.
What do you think?
Maybe depression.
He was hospitalized, you said?
That's what my parents told me.
Okay. So far as you know, one way or the other, did he die by his own hand, by committing suicide?
No, I think he got cancer or something.
Okay. Anyone else in the family been in a mental hospital or had significant psychiatric issues or problems?
My aunt on my father's side, I think she's schizophrenic.
That would be Betty Holmes?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. Tell me about your Aunt Betty.
She has paranoid delusions, I think. She doesn't talk much, but she's a kind and loving aunt.
Okay. What do you mean by paranoid delusions? In terms of her?
I think she thinks there are people that are after her, kind of thing.
Okay. Has she been hospitalized before?
I don't know.
Not sure. Okay. When was the last time you saw Aunt Betty?
A couple Thanksgivings ago.
What do you remember about that meeting, that Thanksgiving?
I don't know, it's just a normal Thanksgiving.
Do you remember anything about Aunt Betty? Excuse me.
No.
When you say a couple Thanksgivings ago, it was before you were arrested, right?
Right.
Okay. Would it have been the Thanksgiving before you were arrested? That is, give or take November of 2011?
I'm not sure if it's that one or the one before.
Okay. After you went to grad school?
It was, okay, so it was before I went to grad school.
Okay. You don't know much about Granddad, but you do have memories and interactions with Aunt Betty. Are there any ways that you are similar to or quite different from Aunt Betty?
Well, I used to drive around a lot. She doesn't use her car much, kind of stays at her living situation most of the time.
So that's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me some more differences or similarities.
She doesn't talk very much either. She goes to bed like at 7 o'clock, which is really early.
Okay. Any other differences or similarities?
Not that I can think of.
Any speculation about why she doesn't talk very much?
No, not really. I guess it's just part of who she is.
You think she's a shy and awkward person? You've used those words to describe yourself.
I don't know if she's awkward or not, but I'd say she was.
Is there anybody in the family that you feel some similarities with? You often hear people say, I'm just like my grandfather, I'm just like my uncle, I'm just like my dad, or something like that.
I'd say I'm like my dad and my mom.
Okay. More like, I didn't quite hear you, more
Like my dad, probably.
Okay. In what ways? Can you explain that to me?
Both kind of have a bit of OCD.
OCD meaning?
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
And whenever somebody uses terms like that with me, I always ask, what do you mean by OCD or obsessive compulsive disorder?
Like being fastidious, detail oriented stuff.
Any other similarities, either within the OCD concept or something else?
My dad's more introverted than extroverted, kind of like me too.
Is your dad a happy guy?
Yeah.
I know that they're upset that this has happened to you and that you're in the situation that you're in. But other than that, you feel he's a reasonably happy guy?
Yeah, he's happy.
Okay. How about differences between you and your dad?
He's very mathematical. He's got like a bunch of degrees in mathematics, statistics.
You're not mathematically inclined yourself, even though...
Not solely mathematics.
Okay. Are you a happy guy? I know the situation is very, very difficult. But
Not right now.
Not right now. That's fair. Let me kind of rephrase. Before you were arrested, say as you were in graduate school, were you a pretty happy guy or no?
No, I'd say no.
And we know that you had some depressed times. In between those depressed times, were you still not happy or were you pretty happy?
I'd say I was happy in between the depressed time.
Okay. How about back in college?
I'd say I was happy there too.
Happy then. What were the things, I'm tempted to say the differences, but what were the things that made you a happy guy back in college and a less happy guy in grad school?
There was less public speaking and kind of less necessity of public speaking in college.
Anything else? So public speaking brought happiness to an end for you? I mean, that's essentially what you said.
It made me kind of unhappy.
How is public speaking so powerful that it brings an end to happiness for James Holmes? How is it that powerful or that distressing for you?
Because I worry over saying the right things.
Okay. Anybody else in the family that's had significant psychiatric or psychological problems as far as you know?
I think my dad's father also had like OCD.
And what brings you to that thought?
That's just what my parents said. Because I was little and he died too.
So both your grandfathers passed away when you were little.
Yep.
How about the grandmothers?
They lived a lot longer, I'd say.
Any difference between the way your dad has relationships with people and the way you had relationships with people up to the time that you were arrested?
I don't know about my dad's relationships. So.
What do you see in your dad vis-a-vis other people? That's kind of obtuse way to ask it, I guess, but you see him with your mom. You've described what he's like with your mom. You've seen him with other people. Perhaps he's talked about other relationships within and without the family. How is that similar to or different from your relationships?
I'm not aware of how his relationships.
Does he have friends?
Yeah.
Did you have friends?
Yeah.
Was the way you worked with or interacted with your friends similar, as far as you can tell, to the way your dad interacted with his friends, or different?
I assume they're similar, but I don't know for sure.
About how many really good friends did you have up to mid-July of 2012?
About 5.
About 5. Here's an odd question. How old do you think your dad was when he married your mom? Do you happen to know or no?
Late 30s, I think.
Late 30s. Okay. Do you know if they knew each other in their 20s?
I think they met at UC Berkeley during a tennis game. Their introductory tennis.
What was the story of their, if you know it, the story of their relationship and their courtship and eventual marriage?
I don't know that much about what happened after that.
Okay. Did you ever have thoughts of marrying or having a family yourself?
Yeah.
Tell me about those thoughts.
Just to get a good job to pay for a nice house and support my kids through their life.
What other pictures or fantasies or thoughts did you have about a future with a wife and family?
What was the question?
What other pictures or thoughts or fantasies did you have about a future with a wife and family?
I didn't really have much thoughts beyond that.
When you were going with Gargi, did you all talk about a future together, or was it not that close a relationship?
She said she didn't see a future together.
Really?
Yeah.
When in the relationship did she tell you that?
When she broke up with me.
Okay. What would go into her saying that to you and breaking up with you?
I don't know. She didn't give a reason why she said that.
Speculate for me. You're a smart guy. Speculate for me.
I guess she couldn't picture a family life with me.
What would have been lacking in a family life with you? If anything, what do you think?
Probably ample conversation.
When you were with her, was there ample conversation?
There was enough.
You've said before several times that people you're close to, you're much more facile with conversation than people that you're not close to.
Right.
Okay. You were pretty darn familiar with Gargi.
Right. Yeah.
So what was the conversation like with Gargi?
It came easy.
Talking with many people, you answered in a few words. You use the word concise. You don't volunteer much on your own.
Right.
What's the difference between that and the way you were with Gargi? Or was it similar with Gargi?
I guess it was similar.
Then I'm confused. You said things were easier with people you were close to.
Yeah.
Am I misunderstanding something or missing something?
Well, I still didn't talk excessively, but I talked more with them.
Okay. Would that be a difference in quantity but not a difference in quality? Or is that not a reasonable way to describe it? That is, the quality of your, let's just say, conversation is about the same, but there was a little more of it.
Yes.
Okay. Was there anything else about you that you think might have caused Gargi to say, I don't see a future with you?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Did y'all ever talk about a future together at other times in your relationship?
No, that was the only time.
Tell me about the breakup and how you felt. Did this come suddenly, or did you see it coming?
I noticed it coming, I guess.
I'm sorry?
I noticed it coming. Okay.
How did you notice it coming?
Well, she was acting more distant.
How did that make you feel?
Sad.
Sad? Tell me about sad.
Well, sad that the relationship is ending.
Had you ever felt that kind of sadness before? That particular kind of sadness?
No.
This was the first time you'd had a relationship like that, I think you told me, right?
Right.
So what's the sadness that goes with that kind of breakup? What's that sadness like?
Debilitating.
Debilitating?
I guess I was morose then.
Two big words. Can you break them down into smaller words and longer sentences? Debilitating, morose.
Just that I didn't feel as energetic as usual.
How did your life change if you didn't feel energetic and you were debilitated, morose? What did you do?
I did more escapism, watching TV, that kind of thing.
Watching TV, anything else?
Listening to music.
And once again, the kind of music you listen to primarily?
Techno, trance.
Okay. And what kind of TV?
Comedy.
Tell me what comedies, that's interesting.
Arrested Development. Big Bang Theory. Louis C.K.
The first two I'm pretty familiar with. I've never watched Louis C.K.
He's kind of a pessimistic comic.
So is it stand-up, or does he have a situation, comedy situation?
It's kind of him going through his daily life, but he's also done stand-up as well.
Do you think there's any significance or, excuse me, lack of coincidence about those three comedies? A Pessimistic Comic, Big Bang Theory, and Arrested Development. Any particular reason you think you like those three comedies?
Well, they were humorous.
Well, sure. Anything else?
They're witty.
Anything else?
I guess they kind of mirrored my situation sometimes.
That's kind of what I was wondering. Can you tell me more about how they may have mirrored your situation?
Well, the Big Bang Theory is about how this guy named Leonard interacts with Penny, and they have relationships that start and end too.
So of the characters on Big Bang Theory, and I promise you I know them all because I watch a lot of Big Bang Theory.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the one you picked to talk about initially was Leonard and Penny.
Right.
Are any of those characters kind of like you, or you kind of get into a particular character?
I kind of identify with Leonard the most.
So what's Leonard like on the Big Bang Theory? Suppose that I had never watched Big Bang Theory. What's Leonard like?
Well, he's a strong scientist, and he's kind of socially awkward as well.
What else?
He's also humorous. He's funny.
How does he get along in life on the program anyway?
Well, usually has adventures with his friends.
Do you have adventures with your friends? Did you?
Yep.
Tell me some of the adventures with your friends.
Well, we went hiking at Dino Ridge. We went to the History Museum, I think it is, Natural History Museum. And we toured like beer factories.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's Dino Ridge? I'm not familiar with Dino Ridge.
It's close to Red Rocks Theater. It's just got fossilized imprints of dinosaur feet.
Okay. And the friends that you're speaking of, can you name them for me?
Well, they're in Colorado. They're Gargi, Ben, Tim.
Anybody else?
Not for those trips, no.
Okay. So it's Gargi Data, Ben Garcia, Tim Tapscott, is that right?
Right.
Tapscott. Okay. Did y'all pal around quite a bit then?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a little like of course there were more than 4 people in the Big Bang Theory, but
Right.
there was Penny and then all the guys.
Yep.
Okay. The beer factory tour, that's interesting. Tell me about that.
I forget the name of it, but they make Fat Tire beer, which is like my favorite beer, I guess.
Okay. on very social adventures, going to a bar and where the folks, particularly Leonard, I guess, are not sure what it's going to be like. Does that resonate at all with the adventures and things that you do with your friends?
Yeah, it sounds similar to what I do.
What's the most adventurous one that you can think of right now?
Just going to a bunch of different bars on St. Patrick's Day.
Tell me about the St. Patrick's Day bar hop.
Well, the first bar I went to was an Irish bar, and they played a bunch of Irish music and had balloons that are tossed everywhere. Then we went to a kind of just normal bar that wasn't based on Irish or anything like that, and drank a bunch. And then we went to a bar called Rock Bar, which they had music and a dance floor and stuff.
And this was the St. Patrick's Day?
Yep.
Okay. Do you know what year it was? It was after you were here at grad school, of course. Would it have been 2012 or 2011, or do you know?
I think it was 2012.
So would that have been toward the end of your relationship with Gargi? I'm trying to put the calendar together.
I don't remember.
But at that time, you were all palling around, and the relationship with Gargi was good, or no?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay. And St. Patrick's Day, if I remember right, is in March.
Right.
Okay. So of that group, if you're the Leonard, I'm making a leap here, I know. If you're the Leonard and Gargi's the Penny, the other guys don't have a girl.
Right.
Does that bring up any thoughts? Did Ben and Tim not have a girl and James did?
No, there's nothing.
When Gargi broke up with you, and from what you say, it was kind of a one-sided breakup. She was the one that left.
Yeah, and then a couple weeks later we got back together. And then I broke up with her.
How was it that you got back together? How did that work?
I guess she wanted a non-committal relationship. So I figured that was better than nothing.
Okay. So what happened between you two? What was the relationship like in that second relationship, if you will?
It was just like the first, except I knew there was not going to be a future between us.
Did you pretty much know that, or did you have hopes that there would be a future?
No hopes.
Okay. Same time spent together, same intimacy or sex, same enjoyment of each other?
Yep.
Okay. How long did that last?
I think a couple months.
Okay. So that would bring us up to roughly when?
May, I think.
Okay. Of 2012.
Right.
Okay. did you want the change?
Because I wanted a committed relationship.
Okay. And how did she take it? How did the breakup itself take place?
She took it well, I would say.
Did you miss her after that breakup?
No.
What did she go and do? I mean, what happened to Gargi after that?
We stopped hanging out, so I don't know what she was up to.
Did you stop hanging out with all that group, or just stopped hanging out with Gargi?
The whole group.
The whole group. Tell me about stopping hanging out with the group.
Well, we didn't do any more activities together.
Any particular reason?
It reminded me too much of Gargi.
Did the group call you up or text you and want to hang out, or?
No.
But they were all friends. You were all friends. Yeah. What do you make of the fact that they didn't say invite you to go do things, or did they? Maybe they did.
No, it kind of ended when the relationship ended.
That's odd to me that you have 3 friends, and the breakup with one of them cuts
I
things.
guess Gargi was kind of the glue that kept it together.
Sounds like they may have sided with Gargi in some way. So, or maybe that's not the right term to use.
It was more I left not participating with him anymore.
So you're saying it was more you that left them than that left you? Or am I missing?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that, about you leaving them?
Well, I just didn't do any more stuff with them.
Did you do stuff with other people besides, rather than them?
Yeah.
What other people?
Hillary, I went on a hike with her.
Okay. That's Hillary Allen?
Yeah.
So how did Hillary come into your life?
Well, I texted her to see if she wanted to hang out.
And you knew her from what?
She's in the same neuroscience class I went.
So you texted Hillary, and what'd she say?
Sure.
Okay. So tell me about the things that you did with Hillary and what she was like.
Well, it was only that one hike, so there wasn't much else.
Is there a reason there was only one hike? Only one interaction?
She asked to see if we wanted to do anything else, but by that time I had red hair and was kind of out of it.
So she was asking to do other things, and what does your red hair have anything? What does that have to do with not doing more things with Hillary?
I kind of didn't want to hurt her by putting her in jeopardy.
You know, what kind of jeopardy?
Of being like the girlfriend to a murderer.
So at that point, you had decided that you were a murderer?
That I was going to be.
and maybe that's the wrong thing to do, the part about you wanting to protect her. Was she a pretty nice person and tough to give up?
Yeah, she was nice and friendly.
And the reason that you gave her up was solely that you wanted to protect her?
Yeah.
Sounds like that becoming a murderer was very important to you at that point. To give up friends, to give up the possibility of the relationship with Hillary.
Yeah.
How was that feeling, that thought, that set of thoughts developing in you at that point? And we're talking about May, June?
Yeah, May and June.
How were those thoughts developing in you at that point?
Kind of consuming me.
It's an interesting word. Can you tell me what you mean, consuming you?
It became the main focus of it.
If it was a main focus, what was it pushing out?
Doing well in school, making new friends.
So it was pushing school away from your life. It was pushing making new friends away from your life. And again, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Is that
That's
what you're
correct,
saying?
yeah.
Okay. Did that happen all of a sudden, or did that
It was kind of a gradual process.
a gradual process? Can you put your finger on about when it may have started inside you?
When I first bought a taser and a knife.
All right, I'm going to turn the lights back on. The record should reflect that the prosecution just stopped the playing of P-TR-1005. Members of the jury, let's go ahead and take a short break. Let's take about a 10-minute break, stretch your legs, and then we'll continue with the publishing of this exhibit. Please make sure you abide by all my advisements during the break. Thank you. The record should reflect that the jury has exited the courtroom now. All right, let's go on break for 10 minutes. The court will be in recess. Thank you.